typically go under Ellie or ES. I've been writing for about the last 10 or 12 years now. I couldn't bring my current project that I'm working on because it's still in the research stages, still very fragmentary, but I'll give you a quick rundown. It's sort of a groundbreaking, very research-intensive exploration of Norse and Proto-Norse conceptions of the stars, and tied into cosmology, the Eddas, and like healing magic and stuff like that. It's all it's just a lot of research going into it at this point. My notebook is almost full. I have to go to another one soon. But what I did bring was one of my more recent pieces, some poetry selections from my book, Transgender, which is 50 poems. The book, well, I brought 5 of them, but 50 poems on they're sort of transgender centric. And I'm going to read those. Some of them are kind of intense. One of them had a curse word in it, and I edited it out because I thought there might be kids, but since there aren't, maybe I'll just read it as is.
I already said curse words.
Yeah,
There you go.
I did
Thank
too.
you.
So
Thank
yeah.
you. Okay, so without further ado, I will start with the first. Ooh. Am I trans? Am I trans? Do I deserve that label? Have I earned it with my hairy hands and pants? When a first glance paints me more as a man than what I am, than what I hide inside. Define me, please. I've learned to keep these feelings within me, to express no signs of my inner self, no signs of the punk pagan priestess, the wild wolf woman surging under skin, and so at odds with my whiteness, my maleness, with my muscles, and macho goddammits. Define me, as if I need a box to fit into, as if I need a label to belong to, and yet there's comfort in tribes, in a trans tribe, in acceptance among those who grok you. Though some will say, I don't belong, I haven't passed the tests, I haven't gone far enough, yet. Define me, please. Some will say I don't count, just a demi-woman, just a trans that won't transition, as if that makes me less than, because I'm less brave than, or have other reasons, or conflicts I can't resolve, or don't feel the need, and it's slow, but I'm starting to see the label of demi-woman, less like demi-human, and more like demi-goddess, and it reminds me of demi-more. The G.I. Jane I always wanted to be while the other males played with their combat Barbies. I mean Joes. Define me and tell me why margins matter, why what's outside has any bearing on how we identify inside. Define me, please, and see that there will be those among my own who will call me wrong, who will say I'm not really trans, that I have no right to speak, to write, that my words don't matter because I am white, because I don't pass, because I don't buy into unreasonable standards of feminine beauty, or even try to. Define me and tell me why strength and confidence and the fire to fight make me more male, set me separate, as if skirts and simpering are honest measures used to define the divide between male and female. Define me, please, because I wonder sometimes if there might be something more to cling to than passing for your pleasure, if that even matters, if I could be avec breasts or sans breasts and ever really be a woman, much less a man, much less trans. Define me, because my fingers still look wrong when they're elegantly painted, and just as much when they're naked. So that's the first one. Okay, that's the longest one too. The others are shorter. Okay. The next one's called Wish I Had the Ovaries. I wish I had the ovaries to be this, to wear that. I wish I had the womb to rise wise and proud, to tower in heels, to pad in flats, and all with equal ease. I wish I had the ovaries to be the me that I am inside, not hide, but rise, and cultivate the confidence to open my hands, to take the left hands and the back hands and the dark stares and the trash talk as compliments. I wish I had the ovaries to stand without quavering, to be steel staunch and solidly set on a course of my own devising, without wavering, without wondering if maybe I'm making a mistake, if maybe I'm making a million meaningful little mistakes. Okay. This next one is called, it's meant to be humorous. It's also calling attention to some of the flawed things that were taught to me growing up in the gold country. So with that in mind, I'll tell you the title. It's called The Songs the Gays Sing. What is a gay? I ask at age 8. Someone who has AIDS and lives in San Francisco, I'm told. At 8, I have to listen to Queen in secret because there's a fear that their siren songs might change me, warp me into a man-craving maniac destined to die from AIDS in the drug-den metropolis of sinful San Francisco. But I just like listening to the songs the gays sing. What is a tranny? I ask at age 8. A gay in a dress, a pervert who likes little boys, who watches little girls when they go to the bathroom, I'm told. At 8, I find a little girl inside me, and I go to church, and the pastor shouts the devils from my soul, and I shake my fist at Satan, and I tell him I won't be no tranny gay. I won't stray from the love light of Christ. But the little girl stays, grows up to be the woman, waiting patiently inside me. And I start to listen to Queen openly. And I start to wonder how one can get so twisted as to believe some of the things that others have told me. Okay, I think I've got one or two left. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, this next one's called Hypocrisy. I think that might be the last one. Let me see. Maybe there's one more. Yeah, there's two more. Okay, so hypocrisy. You wouldn't judge your mother by the shape of her vagina, or say she was less of a woman if the womb that she pushed you from was cancerous, was cut from her, if she lost the breast she fed you with to a double mastectomy. You wouldn't chase her down the street laughing if she shaved her head to get through the chemo, started wearing pants and boxer briefs, and became more like a man in appearance than even I am. You wouldn't judge your mother, or call her queer, or ask her what she has in her pants, how many operations she's had, how many she still has, until she's finally complete and done getting cut on. You wouldn't judge your mother if she picked up a splitting mall, if she started fixing cars, if she refused to be a simpering parody of womanhood. And yet the judgments come when men, and women like me, walk around openly, dare to wear what makes us feel whole and happy. And what a world it would be if someone like me could go to work in skirts, if I could grow my hair out, or get my ears pierced, or draw black lines around my eyes, or God forbid call myself a woman without someone wondering about the shape and state of my vagina. Okay, last one. Last one's kind of tied into some of my researches and my spirituality, which is kind of tied into my ancestry and stuff like that. So it's called Valkyrie. Look at me. Look at this mess. This man-skinned lesbian. This quasi-queer, wearing a little silver Mjolnir, like a stand-in for a cross, as if to advertise, as if to pass, as if to belong, be recognized, at least somewhere, at least within my own little chunk of nowhere. Reach into older ways. Reach beyond the skin of sacred Asatru. Set aside the hammer for the feather, for the mantle of wolf and wings, of wild Valkyrie, running side by side with Skadi. Label myself in other ways, and Vanatru, and Freya's daughter among them. Wear the skin of all that I am, of all that I was when I was winged and free, before the columns of male-centric masonry, before the sky rolled back to give dominion to the warriors instead of the mothers, and the mother pantheon instead of the land, and those of us who care enough to tend her. Wear the skin the way her priests have always worn her skin, and while still as wise as your Odin, and while still as hairy as your Thor, but without the hate, without the hammer to guide my hand, to define the way I see me when I look past the mirror and whisper, Valkyrie. So, and I put a little bio on the back, and I've got the whole thing here. If anyone wants this this copy of the poems to take home for whatever reason, so I'll put that there. All right, so.